Hi, so last time I did a sketchbook tour of the book, kind of like the workhorse sketchbook, where I was at the brink of learning a lot of stuff and making a significant jump on in my drawing ability. Today I'm going to show you the next sketchbook where I did make that jump and I kind of made a breakthrough so that you can see what happened between the last sketchbook and this one. Hi, my name is Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist from the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 25 years now, and I'm here to empower you. So this is the sketchbook that I'm going to be talking about. It's much, much larger than the one that I showed the first time in the first sketchbook tour, and it kind of starts off where the other one left off. This is a sketchbook that was done around 1999 and in 2001. So around 3 years worth of work in here. This was one of two sketchbooks. I had another one that's at work right now, so I can't show you that one, but I will eventually. This is one of two sketchbooks that I took to Italy with me on a very special trip with Glenn Vilpu. That's where this sketchbook starts, but I kept it around beyond that. So around 1999 is when I went to take my trip in Italy. And then I finished the sketchbook around 2001, 2002 maybe? I don't know. I don't have any of the dates on this sketchbook. Also, this is the sketchbook that I replaced the paper. So you will see that I replaced the paper. It doesn't actually fit, see? Like the paper sticks out. The paper that was in this sketchbook was bad, and I had another sketchbook with better paper, and I replaced that paper into this sketchbook because I like a hard cover. So let's take a look. So for the most part, I tend to like spiral bound sketchbooks, and I like to have hardcover sketchbooks. So let's begin here with this. So we have a yet another Steve Houston gallery brochure. This gallery brochure says 2001. And I saw all of these paintings live. There was a gallery in Pasadena. It says DNFA Gallery in Pasadena. It was a very nice show. There to support my figure drawing teacher. So remember that comic that I was working on in the last sketchbook, drawing the characters of the comic in the last sketchbook. I was doing a lot of other stuff outside of the sketchbook for those characters, but this is one of the breakthrough drawings that I started doing. Now notice, remember in the last sketchbook, if you saw the last sketchbook tour, my inking was awful. Well, this is a significant change. And the significant change in the line quality and the inking was because I complained to my teacher, my friend and mentor, Paul Wee, about my inking. And he gave me a good suggestion. He said that if I wanted to make a good ink line that looked the way I wanted it to look, I should ink it with pencil first. In other words, I should create the line quality that I wanted my ink line to have, and then when I added ink, I should trace verbatim that line quality. And I did that, and for the first time ever, the drawing came out looking well inked. And I was extremely proud of myself about it. And I continued to practice this method of inking until I got so confident doing the lines myself that I no longer had to do it. But this was a really extremely good exercise in learning to get inking down for me. So let's continue on. I got some sketches here some notes for my martial arts class. All right, so this is in Siena, some observational sketches in Siena. Now I am officially in Italy. And in Italy, we did watercolors. This is the first time I've ever done watercolors ever. Was in Siena, in Multicino. This is gray markers. And this is Multicino doing watercolors. Again, I had no real control back then. Fortunately for me, I had replaced the paper. So like you could see that there's holes here. You could see I had replaced the paper. The sketchbook that I took this paper from had paper cover, and I hate paper covers. So I replaced it with this hardcover. I just put it into this sketchbook. So you could see that it doesn't quite fit. But the paper was hardy enough to take watercolor, and I am very grateful for that. I'd never even considered that would have been a problem until now. Nowadays I'm doing so much watercolor that I realize that the paper is significantly important when you're doing watercolors. Again, more sketches in Multicino. And again, this is my first watercolors that I'd ever done ever. It was done in Italy. And here's my friend Bill in Gubbio, and these are some of the people that I traveled with. Yes, this is one of my friends that I traveled with at that time, and he did stick his pencil in his nose. Here's Glenn Vilpu sketching. I drew him here. This was in Venice. All of these parts were in Venice. This is again Multicino. This was still something I did there. This is probably the best thing I did in Multicino. Also, notice the significant difference in the way that I drew and sketched my observational drawings. They kind of stepped up. Here, by the way, is a little eyeball. So I did this a lot. This is one of my all-time favorite watercolors I've ever done, is right here. I did it in Venice. I just sat in this this fountain in Venice, and it was just so nice. And this watercolor turned out so nice. Considering I'd never done watercolor until now, this is like my 4th watercolor or 5th watercolor. More drawings in Venice. This is a painting I did of the water in a boat in Burano. And here's all my brush testing here. Sketches in Burano and in Venice. Drawing little observational things. And that's it that I drew here in Venice. Oh, except for this. This was a crazy day. I got left behind and I had to make my way back to Venice. But I was drawing because I was painting this bridge, and everybody just kind of ditched me. And then this is in San Diego. I just wanted to keep doing the watercolor observational drawings, and it fell apart. I was so unhappy with this that I didn't do watercolors until now. So it took 18 years from this page to start doing watercolors again. And this was a girl that I was trying to I don't know, date or something. She was French. And she was in my friend's. She was hanging out with my friend in my friend's house in San Diego. And this was my friend's brother, and they were playing volleyball at the beach in San Diego. A trip to the zoo, me drawing animals. My animal drawings are not all that good. This is a drawing that I did of my girlfriend at the time. This is from a photograph, and she was wearing clothes, so no, she wasn't naked or anything. And here I am practicing designing eyes based on all the studies that you saw in the other sketchbook on all the Bridgman heads and stuff like that. I didn't stop doing the Bridgman heads, but now, at this point, I'm starting to design. I'm starting to try to get a voice. I'm trying to start to get some kind of special look to my work. And this is a drawing I did from Jason Pearson's artwork. This is a Jason Pearson Batman. I just copied it, and I copied, and the point of copying it was to try to understand what he did, how he inked his drawing. And then this was just to try to understand how he used his shapes. I went out of my way to make sure that I got my anatomy working correct, but what I was really focusing on was the graphics of his shapes. So much so that I even did a little silhouette here. And then this is me drawing a Batman based off of what I learned off of here. So this is me, my own Batman from my imagination, kind of emulating the Jason Pearson Batman that I had just finished copying. So at this point, I'm actually making a significant breakthrough in my work because of the type of copyings that I've been doing. So I decided to add these sheets of paper because I wanted to show you. I used to have, in tandem with this sketchbook, I used to put what I would call it was a thumbnail sheet on my desk as I did my scenes. And I would use this thumbnail sheet to do thumbnails of my acting for scenes. So it's like, okay, send it to Jesus, care of the Pentagon. So this is me kind of working out the acting of this crazy guy. But I also did these kind of doodles. And this was in these kind of sheets that I had kind of taped, blank sheets of paper taped to my desk, is where I would doodle so much that they were like a second sketchbook. And whenever I actually ended up some of the stuff worth keeping, I kept the sketchbook, the sheet of paper. And so these were like significant breakthroughs in those sheets of paper, because I actually made character breakthrough things that were working for me. And here's Frank Grimes' thumbnails kind of strewn all over. This is the famous "You're what's wrong with America, Simpson?" And scene like you, and I'm doing the acting here. And at the same time, I was making these doodles that were really the nose, the eyes, like all these things. These are imaginative drawings that I actually had like really breakthrough moments with. And then here's more of that guy. Okay, care of Pentagon. So this is a little bit tighter versions of these thumbnails of Jesus, care of the Pentagon. And this is me doing doodles and a copy of Ray from Cowboy Bebop. So, like I said, these were the sketchbooks that weren't my sketchbooks, but I would make breakthroughs on these sheets of paper because I would doodle in them so much. And then here we have my study of an Adam Hughes Wonder Woman. His hair is amazing. The way he designs hair is just so good. But what I was doing was I was using Bridgman in all my figure drawing studies, and I would break it down. You could actually see, if you look very closely, I put pecs in here, like actual pecs. I actually drew the full breasts here, the very Bridgman, very solid stuff. Like I was using Bridgman formulas to copy this Adam Hughes drawing. And then this drawing and this drawing were me emulating what I had learned from this. So this was me trying to draw like Adam Hughes. And I did it again. So this is a copy. 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 These are drawings that I did off of that Jesus of Nazareth movie, trying to draw in Adam Hughes style. And then this was from my imagination, trying to draw in Adam Hughes style. And now this whole page is me drawing in Adam Hughes style, but still using what I learned from copying Bridgman. So already you can see a significant jump. Like this is breakthrough moments here. I forgot the name of this. Frazato, I think his name was. Frazato. I have some comics of his, so I was copying his. And then this is me trying to draw in his style, but I was copying Frazato's drawings here. And this is me attempting to practice hair from my imagination. Very, very difficult stuff, drawing hair from your imagination. More Adam Hughes copies. Copy, 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 copy. And then this is this little red one. That's me actually drawing in Adam Hughes style from my imagination. Drawing Jesus from my imagination in Adam Hughes style. And more anatomy studies from Bridgman. These are not copies, but these are using Bridgman construction. All of this was using some sort of Bridgman construction. More tests. This is me just kind of designing, trying to push stuff, making new types of styles and designs. This is again character design. So significant difference between the last sketchbook and this one. This is where I was really starting to get it. All the Bridgman that I copied and studied were starting to really, all that study was starting to really pay off. So character designs and shapes and things like that. Imaginative drawing. Except for this one, I think I was drawing somebody that I actually saw from observation. But this is all me playing around. I think this guy was from a magazine. And I think this was for a copy of something. Maybe, I don't remember. But all of this was, most of this was imaginative stuff. I was trying to draw this little girl. Trying to capture how cute she was. Failing miserably. But I kind of did it here. And then this was first time I think I drew Batman on my own without trying to be Jason Pearson. And I started to be able to draw Spider-Man for the first time ever, and you saw Spider-Man in the other page, and I was starting to get more and more excited about drawing because I was starting to make breakthroughs. This is still kind of ugly, but this is breakthrough, definitely breakthrough moments. So much of it is starting to really start to come together. Character designs is Bogart. I was probably watching some movie. I think I was watching Casablanca. There's Louis again. I was watching 6, I think. Or 7, I should say. What? 6. Something I was doing... I forgot what I was doing this for. But for some reason I was drawing a lot of Jesus. And drawing angels. So these are angel drawings here. This is another angel drawing. This is supposed to be an angel too. I was trying to make them look kind of crazy and far out. Okay, so this drawing here, this sheet here, is my friend and mentor Paul Wee drawing over my Chun-Li over here. So here's me drawing Bridgman-y kind of a Chun-Li, using Bridgman rhythms. And so just trying to see gesture, shape, form, anatomy. And then this is all rhythm. There's a notes here. And this is Paul explaining what my drawing was missing. The solidity here, the gesture here, the anatomy of the arm, how it worked. Here's a little John Watkiss arm. He took classes with John Watkiss. I did not. I took 1 or 2 substitute class. He substituted on some of my figure drawing classes. I didn't appreciate it nearly as much as I should have. So Paul is my only way to get Watkiss information, because he learned a lot from Watkiss, but I never took his class. And now John Watkiss has passed away from cancer. So more sketches, more doodles, but this is finally starting to get somewhere. This was from a photo, but I pushed it. I pushed the design of the character here. This is also from a photo, but I pushed the design. This is from a photo, but I was caricaturing. This is again from a photo, caricaturing, and from a photo, caricaturing. So all of these were caricatures. This was a gesture drawing for another Chun-Li drawing that I was doing. And this was from a photo, but I caricatured it. So these kind of look good. And like I said, like this is when I finally started, the stuff started really working again from photos. But pushing stuff and paying even more attention to anatomy. I think Paul was showing me what I was doing wrong with this arm, so I started really paying more attention to arm anatomy. Here's St. Michael, the archangel. And this is me trying to draw angels. And that's why just trying to draw angel armor, and I didn't want it to do traditional, which is usually they're wearing something Roman. I wanted to do something that was very different. So this is my St. Michael. It says Michael right here. And then this is my Lucifer. I wanted to make him pretty like a lady and have hips like a lady, but be obviously male and just kind of be weird looking. So some drawings that I was going to do with St. Michael and Lucifer. And yeah, trying to get him to stop from taking Moses up to heaven. And then I just used Bridgman to try to come up with really good poses for that idea. I never really finished it, but this is as far as I got, but this is what I was doing. And then this is more Bridgman construction that I did, but this is all imaginative. This is all from my imagination. And this is, again, significant change from the last sketchbook when I was doing imaginative stuff that really fell apart. But this time, the Bridgman stuff started falling together, started really making things work. I started being able to, here's just testing myself to be able to draw characters in different positions, foreshortened positions, doing knee studies, things like that. This is, I drew Jesus over here in foreshortened. So there was a lot of very significant study and breakthroughs here. See, so knees, studying legs and knees. It started to all fall into place. I started to realize what it is that I needed to do. When I drew from my imagination, I really needed to understand Bridgman enough so that it really started to work for me. This is one of the reasons why when I talk to artists who and the people that I coach and I make videos, and I just recommend Bridgman, because this is the book where you could see it all coming into place, and it was all because Bridgman. So I wrote this note to myself. It says, like when you draw The Simpsons, you have a personal formula as to how you will finish them. So allow yourself to get the right gesture first. Make a formula of your own on everything you draw, including anatomy and construction of parts. So that was my note. That was the revelation that I came to at this moment when I was working on these sketches. And then it says right here, could do a drawing session where we both sit down and study how to draw heads, beginning with just a way to make our own formulas that work for us. I don't know who us is. Maybe it was Gollum, but that's what I ended up doing. I guess Gollum and I came up with this formula here of head drawing. And more Jesus. Boy, I was drawing Jesus a lot. And more Jesus. And doodles. Just me, playing with shapes and doodling. And here's another interesting note that I wrote. I don't think I really... I don't know. Let's see. That says, you have to draw as if you're playing chess. Don't move unless you have a plan, at least in your head. These drawings are too much on the fly. You're not good enough to draw this way. Think before you draw. It's like chess. Have an attack plan. Remember, make formulas. And a lot of chess pieces, and just doodles are over here. And then I have some interesting thing. I don't know what it says. Why is it that the older you get, the more you have to learn? The more difficult everything becomes. Ironically, I feel less energy. Why? So much to learn, so much to master, so little time. If you need more time to study, but more importantly, I need time to enjoy what I learn. Otherwise, why bother? Interesting things that I write on over here. This is some drawings I did. I was going to do a little Tyr, the god Tyr, the Norse god Tyr. There was this little boy that I was going to call him Tyr. And like Tyr, he doesn't have an arm, so he has a blade instead. It didn't go anywhere. I was going to do something with it. And this is just me playing. There was a Dark Horse test of Ghost. And so this was me preparing for it. Drawing Ghost for that comic book test. So these are my character designs. And at this point, my stuff has actually significantly become much more like what I draw like today. Some gorillas, copies, and then attempt to draw it myself in that style. Some designs of ships that I was doing for a friend of mine. He was doing a short, so I just tried to come up with some ships for him. Trying to draw Wolverine, this is actually extremely unsuccessful drawing page. Not very good stuff here. And some drawings that I did for a friend of mine. Here is the ticket for my boarding pass for Italy. Yeah, coming back home, I think. And a zombie, some sketches, some drawings. I think this is Conan over here. Some more Spider-Man. Really pushing my shapes. More arm studies over here. More arm anatomy studies. Trying to memorize this anatomy. More of that zombie stuff. Here's Hank Hill. More and arm studies here. Oh, this is one of those doodle pages that I said that I just kind of had. So this is here because of this drawing of this priest. So I was coming up with yet another of my many ideas. And this was going to be steampunk. And I mean, it wasn't it didn't take place on Earth. It took place in a different world, kind of a Middle Earth type place. And so this is my reference for guys to base this character from. And these are my baby Norse gods. This is Loki. This, I guess, is Thor. This is Odin. And this little squirrel over here, I actually sculpted. I think I gave it to my mom. And I think we're going to end where we began. This is the pencil drawing that I did that I ended up inking later on in the other thing. And then you could actually literally see what I said about the line quality, about inking. I did the inking here. So I took this drawing and then I put it under my light box, and then I did the line drawing onto my sketchbook, and then I inked it on my sketchbook. But this is where I drew the line drawing here. And just inspirational stuff here, and I think I have a map of Italy here, of Rome, or I don't know. And I have a PlayStation Grades Hits and Tricks. And that's the end of this sketchbook. So this is the sketchbook where I had the most significant learning. From this point on, my drawing became better. Like from this point on, I started drawing better artwork. I started getting a little bit more of my voice. Who I am started in this sketchbook. And again, this sketchbook was around 1999 to 2001, 2002, sometime around that point. So this video being done in 2018, that was about 17 years ago, 16 years ago. This is when I made my most significant turn in my drawing. I just thought I'd share this sketch tour with you, and then from this point on I could go backwards in time and show you how bad my work was before the 2 sketchbooks that I've already shared. Or if you would rather me keep moving forward and show you the work that I did in my sketchbook after this one, and the way I kept on growing and developing. And the artwork is much more interesting and prettier in later sketchbooks. So, and much worse and uglier and more boring to look at in previous sketchbooks. So that it'll depend on what you'd rather see. But I'm willing to share either one. So let me know what you think. All right, that is all from me for now, and I will talk to you next time. All right, bye.